Welcome to Feedback. I'm Mark Despotakis. On tonight's show, we're going to be speaking with the author of the book Suns Go Down. It's about the possibility of small towns in America dying. Also, we'll be talking about an issue that's been hot for the last few weeks and is still hot, gun control, with U.S. Rep. John Peterson. It's all tonight on Feedback. Once again, welcome to Feedback. Good evening. I'm Mark Despotakis. As I said, coming up tonight on the show, we're going to be speaking with the author of a book entitled Suns Go Down. It's an interesting book about the plight of small towns in America. And since Clarion is a small town, we figured it would be a good book to talk about. Also, we're going to be showing you an interview I did with U.S. Rep. John Peterson last week. And predominantly in the interview, we talk about gun control in this country, and you know, just last week we heard about 2 more shootings, and we're going to be discussing that with him. Actually, only one was a shooting, another was a potential shooting, but guns are out there, so we'll be talking about that. But we're actually going to talk about somebody else shooting off their mouth tonight instead. Maybe some of you may have read the Clarion Call, the student newspaper at Clarion University, and their headline the other day was about a state legislator making some comments about the state system schools, not very positive. It was actually Representative Lita Cohen. She's a Republican from the eastern part of the state, and I want to read you actually what she had said during the House Appropriations Committee meeting February 29th. Now, we have a graphic of just an abridged version, but I'm going to read you everything that she had said about the state system schools, which Clarion University is a part of. She says, quote, "With all due respect, I think 56% at best, even after 6 years, is disgraceful." Now, there she's speaking about the graduation rate, of course. Quote, "These students are going to school on taxpayer dollars, many with PHEAA dollars," that's the Higher Education Assistance Agency, "which is in addition to what the state taxpayers are giving to the schools and system directly. And yet, at best, after 6 years, you have a 56% graduation rate. Coupled with the fact that many of us speak on a regular basis to business people, not only in our districts, but across the state, and what they're saying to us is that they're getting job applicants, and sometimes in this economy, they have to hire people. They have to hire people who are graduates that went to the state system, be it for 4, 5, 6, or 100 years after graduating, and they have to retrain them, that they can't write simple sentences, that they simply are not prepared, not just to go out into the business world, but to get a job in any type of industry or profession. Your graduates aren't fit for any type of job." How about that? What do you think of that? We got the press release on this last week, and I read it, and I was just, I became speechless. You know, I didn't know what to say. You know, reading up on this Representative Lita Cohen, I found out she graduated from some private university, and she's attacking the state schools, basically. And then she did sort of do a tiny retraction in something that was in a newspaper on the eastern side of the state, and she says, "My intention was misconstrued, and I may have spoken inappropriately. I really meant my role to be in support of something to be improved." I didn't actually get that from her comments, but whatever. I think she's not looking at all the facts here. First of all, let's look at what the state system schools are designed to be. They're not designed to be Ivy League schools. They're designed to help people get a college education. They are not, you know, they're not Stanford, they're not Yale, and they're not pretending to be. A lot of students who go to the state system schools, as you may know, you may be a student watching us, you may be in the community and see what we do. A lot of these students are actually working through college, and that's why they have to wait so long to graduate, and that's why it may take 6 years. Also, you have a lot of non-traditional students, you know, older students returning to continue their education because their life did not permit them to do that earlier, and they've now come back, and the state system has been a great way for them to do that. Well, I thought I really want to talk to this woman, you know, have her defend what she said at the House Appropriations Committee meeting. So I had our producer call her office today, And she had no comment for us. She says she's been getting a lot of response to this, a lot of people, and she's responding to everyone, all the letters she's gotten and things like that. She's responding to them. So she says, you know, we can contact her again, and we might be able to talk to her. So stay tuned to TV5 News tonight and tomorrow night. We'll see if we can get in touch with her. I know the news people on that end are working on possibly talking to her and getting some reaction from here at Clarion University. It's, once again, like I said, it leaves me rather speechless, even though I'm verbalizing it. It surprised me that she could come out and say this, because another article I was reading, they were talking about some of the famous people who run some schools. Pennsylvania's Lieutenant Governor Mark Schweiker, he's in Indy on a business development tour right now. Yeah, I doubt he can write a good sentence. Dean Koontz, maybe you've heard of him. He's a good writer. Yeah, he couldn't write a good sentence, really? What are you thinking? You know, and it's just, I think this woman needs to look at all the facts, just some examples, but they went to state schools. And I think that the Pennsylvania state school system is really a great system. It provides a lot of people with a chance to get higher education. And higher education in this society is something that is extremely important, something that you almost can't live without. One time, you really didn't need the high school degree. Then it sort of became mandatory to have a high school degree to succeed in society. Well, now, it's almost you need the college degree to succeed. I can't say the word. Succeed in society. And the state system of higher education is one way that provides that to a lot of people. So, anyway, that's that. Like I said, stay tuned to the news after this show, and maybe not tonight, or tomorrow night. We're going to see if we can get maybe some comment from here at the university or from Representative Cohen. So that's that. What we're going to do now is take a break. And when we come back, we're going to speak with Shirley Sykes, the author of the book entitled Suns Go Down. It's a book about the plight of the small town. We'll be back after this.
This portion of the programming was made possible through a grant by the Captain Loomis Hotel and Restaurant. The Captain Loomis Hotel and Restaurant is located at 540 Main Street in Clarion and offers dining as well as a nightclub. The restaurant and nightclub are open 7 days a week for your convenience. Call the Captain Loomis Hotel and Restaurant, 226-8400. This portion of the programming was made possible through a grant by Clarion Office Equipment. Clarion Office Equipment is located on Greenville Avenue Extension in Clarion. They can handle all your office equipment and computer needs. They are open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can call Clarion Office Equipment at 226-8753.
It's not just about making plans. It's about making a difference and taking an interest, not just earning it. At Edward Jones, it's about more than investing. It's about knowing you.
My every hope, my life, my world, it all begins with a dream.
Edward Jones, investing in you and your dreams.
In Clarion, see Gary Markham, 67896.
Feedback starts now. And I said, you know, it wouldn't a better name for a movie to come out now, and I think I'm going to make the movie or write the book. It would be a great book to have, and you can call to get her book. You can also find it online. And I have a feeling I'm going to be rather opinionated, people I know. So let's ask them about scheduling. Why is it that students have such a problem here with?
Tune into Feedback with Mark Despotakis every Tuesday and Wednesday night beginning at 7:30 p.m.
We're totally out of time. No time to talk to you. We'll see you tomorrow. Welcome back to Feedback. I'm Mark Despotakis. You know, Clarion's a small town, and a lot of people love living in a small town, but we've also heard a lot of people who say small towns are dying. Well, we're going to speak with an author in this segment who's written this book, Suns Go Down. Shirley Sykes is joining us on the phone, and the book is about the plight of the small town. Shirley, thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. Could you tell us about the book?
Well, it's the story of a ranching family in Kansas and of a small town. The ranch borders a small town, and it covers almost 100 years. It deals with 5 different characters, or, well, there are more than that, but 5 main characters, and it's done in 5 sections, and the story is carried forward with each section. So I guess I'm trying to portray the changes in the small town and the ranching community that have happened in the past, say, 85 years.
Okay, in reading parts of the book and some of the information on the book, you talk about maybe, you know, how rural towns maybe have demised, and you pick the year of 1958 in the book. Why did you use 1958?
Okay, because that was when television came into the small town. And from a personal standpoint, it certainly affected our business, which was a general merchandise store. And people no longer came to the store in the evening on Saturday night. They were watching Gunsmoke. And, you know, this, it just went on from there. So it completely changed, I think, the face of the small town.
So how long was this book in the making then?
Well, it was almost 20 years. I started it in 1979 at a creative writing workshop at the University of Arizona. And then there was a period, that was 79 and 81, I began being plagued with various health problems. And also the farming situation became very bad here in Kansas and, well, in most of the farming states. And I began working in our agricultural bank trying to help sort out some of the problems. So it was almost 10 years. I worked on it intermittently during that time, but it's very difficult to work on that long and complex novel, you know, if you are having to go to work, do this and that. And so when I retired in 94, I got busy and finished it up.
So then over the last 20 or so years, we could say you've been sort of looking into small towns. What have you seen maybe small towns of today? Are they still dying, or is there going to be a resurgence?
Well, I live in a small town. We're talking now from Leonardville, Kansas, which is a town of about 500, and it has not changed much in population over the years. We're still able to exist because we're close to a university town. Manhattan, Kansas, with Kansas State University, is only 22 miles from us. And then there's also Fort Riley, the Army post. But it is very different in the sense that when I first came here, the settlers were mainly Germans and Swedes, and everyone knew everyone else. But that is different now because what we have are people commuting to Manhattan from here. We've become a bedroom community. But we do have some things. My husband and I gave land for a nursing home, which is out on our property. Well, it's theirs now. We gave it to them. And that is a viable business. So we've managed to stay alive. But some other small towns that have no, economic feasibility will continue to decline.
Okay. You mentioned a little bit earlier you had health problems, and I was reading something here that you had lupus. What effect does that have on writing a book? How do you do that?
Well, if I'd known I had it, I probably would have been a lot slower working, but not knowing I had it, I continued to work. It affects me by, there can be quite a bit of pain connected with muscles and joints, and also fatigue, I think, is the worst. I simply cannot work as I used to.
Okay. The book, just some of your explanation of it, and of what your town is, it kind of parallels Clarion, where I'm at right now. We're actually the small college town. So, maybe to some of the people that are watching us in farther away areas, they may hear, oh yeah, that's kind of like my town, so this might be the perfect book for them.
I hope so.
What's out there? What's next for you? You pursuing another project?
Well, yes, I'm finishing up a book on Switzerland. I have gone to Switzerland for some 30 years, And this is more an anecdotal book, like The Year in Provence, you know, the funny things that have happened to me there. But I also have information about the Swiss Army, which is unique, the Swiss Guard, and other things that are typically Swiss.
Okay, sounds interesting. The book, Suns Go Down, and I guess we can just find this in fine bookstores.
Well, I also, there's an 800 number that Sunflower has. Let me give that to you, because they can order from the press.
Okay.
It's 1-800-258-1232.
Okay.
And I have given readings at Barnes & Noble, but I'm not sure that all of, you know, whether you could get that
Right.
on barnesandnoble.com or not.
Okay, well, we'll show the book, and
Okay.
hopefully people can get it. Looks like a great book. Thanks for joining us.
Oh,
I really
thank
appreciate
you,
it.
Mark. Uh-huh.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Here's a visual of the book if you might want to see it in bookstores. Suns Go Down by Shirley Sykes. Definitely looks like a good book. What we're going to do after the break is U.S. Rep. John Peterson will be joining us. Well, sort of. I did an interview with him from Washington last week, and we're going to show that to you in the next segment. I'll do like an Insta change of clothes, and then I'll Insta change of clothes back. We'll be back after this.
This portion of the programming was made possible through a grant by Curly Tires. Curly Tires is located on Greenville Avenue Extension in Clarion. They offer a wide variety of tires to meet your car or truck needs. Curly Tire is open Monday through Saturday. Call 226-6657. That's Curly Tire. Phone 226-6657.
This portion of the programming was made possible through a grant by Timberland's Restaurant. The Timberland's Restaurant is located near Interstate 80 and Route 68 in the Holiday Inn. The Timberland's Restaurant is open daily 6:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. and from 4 to 10 p.m. Call 226-8850.
This portion of the programming was made possible through a grant by the Pizza Pub. The Pizza Pub is located at 1306 East Main Street in Clarion and offers radio dispatch delivery. Call 226-8721. The Pizza Pub is open 7 days a week for your convenience. Phone them at 226-8721. When other stations are showing their boring programming, only one station is bringing news coverage closer to home.
Now a story you'll hear first on 5.
Every Tuesday and Wednesday night at 8 p.m., join the area's news leader, TV5 News. Tune in for the latest in local, regional, state, and national news. Plus, with our newspaper exchange partner, the Clarion News, teaming up to bring news coverage closer to home every Tuesday and Wednesday night at 8 p.m.
Welcome back to Feedback. I'm Mark Despotakis. Joining us in this segment is your United States Representative, John Peterson. Representative Peterson, thanks for joining us. How are you doing today?
Well, I've had a very, very busy, difficult day, but that's the normal role of a congressman.
Let me just ask our engineers upstairs if they could just turn up my audio, but I'll move on with my question here for you. Just here in Pennsylvania today, we saw 2 more acts of gun violence, one near Pittsburgh, near a mall out there, and another actually in Lisbon, Ohio. We've seen this at the forefront in the last few weeks, obviously, with another shooting near Pittsburgh and Wilkinsburg, and last year with what's going on in Columbine. What's going on in the U.S. House to try to rectify this?
Well, we have a bill that's moving that will called the Exile Bill that will make sure that every person that commits a crime with a gun serves a considerable amount of time in jail over and above the normal sentence. And, you know, most of these that I've read about and had the chance to read their rap sheet, there are people who should not be on the street. There are people with long-time mental illness. There are people that are very troubled. And if the laws had been properly implemented, if the judicial system had been paying attention, those individuals would not have been on the street.
Okay. You know, the president has been saying, you know, that maybe getting some new laws out there is the best answer, as opposed to enforcing older laws. What is your take on that?
Well, I'm waiting for the next incident. Every time there's an incident, the president speaks on this issue, which I think is a little disconcerting, but he does. But the facts are that none of the recent crimes would have been prevented by a new law, that most of them could have been prevented by enforcement of the old laws or properly detailing a person's rap sheet, the history. The gentlemen they were able to sedate him, where he held him hostage for 4 days and had killed 4 people. I read his rap sheet this morning. It was lengthy. It started in the mid-'80s, and there's no reason that individual should have been on the street. So I go back to that if we are enforcing, if we are putting the insane away, if we are putting those who are committing serious crimes where they belong, they won't be out on the street endangering our population.
The older crowd, but let's look at what's happening. We have kids. Look at what happened in Columbine. Look what happened in Michigan, I believe, a few weeks ago with the 6-year-old.
And I believe there was 26 gun laws that were broken. Would 2 more laws have changed things? No, I don't think so. I think we have to deal with what's happening in our society. I think we have to look at what's in the minds of young people. We need to determine when young people are troubled. There was a lot of evidence that these young men were troubled. People let those markers go right by and did not choose to deal with it. The amount of violence that's in video games that so many young people play today, those are the same video games that were used back during the Vietnam War to get our troopers so they would pull the trigger. Because before that, only 1/3 of the soldiers could ever pull the trigger in war zones. They got it up to 60-some% by having video games, and they're very similar to the video games that our young people play today.
Okay, well, let's move on from the gun issue a little bit. Let's talk about what's going on here in Pennsylvania. Big United States Senate race coming up. Republican Rick Santorum, obviously assured the nomination there. But we have a pretty big race, it looks like, going on the Democratic side. Do you have any take on this thus far?
Well, it's interesting. I personally know all 3 of the ones that are leading, Representative Klink and Mr. Foley and Allison Schwartz. I've served with all of those in government. That seems to be the 3 that are leading the race, and I guess it's sort of a toss-up at this point which one will win.
Okay, so we'll just have to wait and see. Maybe what are your thoughts? Can they really outbeat Rick Santorum? I've heard him a lot said that he's vulnerable in that position. Do you really think they're going to be able to do it?
Well, it's never easy to defeat a sitting senator. Let me say this about Rick Santorum. I've known him for a long time. He's very bright. He's very hardworking. He's very tenacious about his work. Sometimes he may ruffle a few more feathers than he needs to because he's very candid. I think in the end, when the issues are debated, the voters of Pennsylvania will probably re-elect Rick Santorum because he's a person who is very futuristic in his views. He's willing to take controversial stands that are in the best interest of our seniors and our young people who have to look way down the road to what kind of a country they're going to live in. I think when those measurements are taken, Rick Santorum will be a victor.
Okay. Just like 30 seconds or less. Let me just ask you real quick, what's that?
Just one quick one.
Okay. What's going on in the district now? What's the positive news coming out of your district?
So the issues that we're concentrating on is rural health care. We majorly helped rural health care in the last budget. We're going to try to help it majorly again. Rural health care has been under a lot of stress and strain because of the great number of Medicare and Medicaid payments that our hospitals depend on. Another issue that I'm working very hard on is technical education. We're not filling the jobs of today. Many of the jobs of today take a blend of academic and technology. Pennsylvania schools lead the country in academics. We do not lead the nation in technical training. We don't have enough academic technical programs or associate degree technical programs. And the problem is people are not aware of where the jobs are. And unfortunately in Pennsylvania, many of the classrooms that are needed for those jobs are not as available as they should be. So I'm a person who's trying to lead the charge in Pennsylvania to get us up to speed on technical education so that we can fill the jobs that are here today. And I'm going to have to apologize. Our time is up, but It's been a pleasure. I wish we had more time. Let's do it again.
Thanks for joining us, and I'll let you get back to your busy work. Thanks. We'll be back right after this on Feedback.
portion of the programming was made possible through a grant by the Carpet Barn. The Carpet Barn is located at 470 South 5th Avenue in Clarion. The Carpet Barn is open Monday through Saturday for all your carpet needs. So call the Carpet Barn, 226-7332.
Standing out from the crowd is easy when you stop in at Fashion Bug, located in the Clarion Mall. Whether you're looking for junior trendy, girls, or fashion for women, they have it all with many different styles. With our newly expanded shoe and accessory department, you're surely to find that special touch to enhance that new outfit. And if you have a fashion question, our experts are here to help. That's Fashion Bug, located in the Clarion Mall, just off Exit 9 of Interstate 80. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. till 9 p.m. Sunday from noon till 5.
This portion of the programming was made possible through a grant by Fox's Pizza Den. Fox's Pizza Den is located on Old Route 66 in Clarion and offers all-day delivery. Phone 226-5555. That's 226-5555. Fox's Pizza Den is open 7 days a week for your convenience. Phone 226-5555.
Portion of the programming was made possible through a grant by Mulligan's Lounge. Mulligan's Lounge is located near I-80 and Route 68 in the Holiday Inn. Mulligan's Lounge is open 7 days a week for your convenience. Call 226-8850.
Thanks for joining us today on Feedback. Join us tomorrow night when we're going to be talking why Who Wants to Be a Millionaire is bad for you. I like that concept. Also join me tomorrow morning on 91.7 WCUC. At 6 a.m. we're going to be talking with United Way on my radio show Talk Around Town. The news is next. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good day.